Hey guys, I get asked all the time about my favorite paint sprayer, and I'm not shy about using it and telling you why I like it. Well, today I'm going to get in depth and give you a review of my paint sprayer. Pew, pew. This is not sponsored in any way. It's just a product that I have used for over 3 years and love it. The first thing I like about this sprayer is that it's very beginner friendly. There aren't a whole lot of adjustments that you can make on it, so you really pour your paint in and you're ready to get going right away, right out of the box. One of the adjustments is how much paint gets thrown out of it, and that's just a little adjustment here, and the directions tell you to start small and work your way up until you get it right. So that's easy to use. Then when you're spraying, it helps to, if you're spraying right to left, that you have a fan that's kind of vertical, and so you can adjust that right here and turn the nozzle. So it's super easy to adjust. There's not a huge learning curve to be able to use this sprayer, which just makes it easier for the average DIYer to get introduced to a paint sprayer. Another thing I like is that it has mostly plastic parts, which if you've ever tried to paint something that's plastic, you know that paint doesn't stick to plastic very well, so that makes it so easy to clean. So you have the plastic bucket, then you have the plastic straw that comes off of it, and all you have to do to clean it is to run this under a faucet, and then I like to run it like upside down through here, and this is all plastic, and the only metal that you can see is this little tip on the end. This green thing that controls the spray pattern and this metal thread right here. Everything else, that tube in there, is all plastic, so you wash it out, rinse some water through, and the paint rinses right out. And that's another thing that I like about it, is that if you loan this to a friend, which I've done a couple of times, and maybe your friend isn't as good at cleaning it out as you might be, well, it's very forgiving, and you can still go back and clean it later. It comes with a little brush that you can really clean down in that tube and get that paint that you can't quite see out. So that makes it, again, beginner friendly. There's not a huge learning curve in learning how to clean it. It's easy to clean. It has just a few parts that all come apart to make it easy to clean. It has a fairly decent sized bucket, so you can you can fill it up, and this would spray, like when I did my nightstands, I bought a quart of paint and used that for 2 nightstands, and that fit in there and was able to do like 1.5 coats with that amount of paint, like 1 coat and a little bit of touch up. So you can hold a lot of paint, so you're not having to refill it too often. And it just gives you a really fine finish, which is why you would want to use a paint sprayer in the first place. I love it for cabinet doors, little pieces of furniture, and I've used it to spray like molding and trim, like laid out on sawhorses. I personally wouldn't recommend it to use on walls. It has a small spray pattern, so it would take you forever to spray paint walls or like a house's exterior with a paint sprayer of this caliber, which actually brings me to another thought, is that this is very inexpensive for the quality that you get from it and from all the projects that you can do once you have a paint sprayer like this. I've used different kinds of paint sprayers, and they worked once, they worked twice, maybe 3 times. Then the 4th time, for whatever reason, it just stopped working. I don't know if I didn't clean it well enough, and so it couldn't get the suction to pull the paint out. This one has worked over and over again. This is actually a second model of the same one, but my original one I have used for over 3 years, spread out, a couple of months here and there, and it worked the same as it did the first time I used it. And to me, that's huge. Being able to rely on a tool and go back to it and not have to worry about it working when you're ready to use it, just makes life a little sweeter. So those are a few things why I like this paint sprayer so much. And again, because it's plastic and it has that seal, you can actually, it keeps your paint fresh in between coats. So if you spray something, want to wait a couple hours to do the second coat, you can leave the paint in here and maybe store it in a cooler room or out of direct sunlight, and you'll be able to plug it back in, maybe scrape off some paint particles, and you're ready to spray right away without having to clean it out between coats. And if you hate cleaning out things as much as I do, you can appreciate that fact. Okay, if you're convinced that this is a paint sprayer for you, use the affiliate link below. I'd be so grateful. And this is the cheapest place I found it, and also the place that introduced me to this paint sprayer in the first place. And they do pretty fast shipping, which means you'll be tagging things in no time. Oh, and one last thing, I'm actually giving one of these away on my Instagram, so go to Checking In with Chelsea on Instagram and follow so that you will be entered to win your own paint sprayer. Pew, pew.